Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be covering one of the hottest topics in all of football. By the sounds of many reports, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers look to be mutually parting ways this offseason. We'll see how this happens, but I'm sure the trade market's going to be crazy for him. It already sounds like the Jets are willing to go all in on this guy, so that's the scenario that we're going to mock today. Now, I don't know the going rates for a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, but if you're a team that's willing to win now and go all in, I'm sure the price will be similar to like the Matt Stafford trade a couple years ago. So we're going to go ahead and trade Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, and the Green Bay Packers are going to receive 2 first-round picks in this scenario. Is that going to be accurate? I don't really know. These trades can get really crazy very fast, as there's a lot of moving parts with money, draft capital, and other players in the mix. But we're going to keep it simple. Green Bay Packers are going to receive the 13th overall pick, so they'll have both the 13th and the 15th, and they'll also have a first-round pick next year from the Jets. So first on the clock, we're not going to trade the first overall pick away. We're going to go ahead and draft for the Chicago Bears here, and they're going to go ahead and take Jalen Carter. Now, Jalen Carter isn't a guy that I have drafted in the first overall yet. He's potentially the best defensive player in the entire draft. You can split hairs between him and Will Anderson, but at the end of the day, he's an elite talent. Now, in the real draft, I anticipate this first overall to get traded, but in this scenario, we're just worried about the Aaron Rodgers trade. The Houston Texans are on the clock with the 2nd overall pick. Let's stay consistent and just take QB1. We're going to take Bryce Young here. Word on the street is he's trying to get his weight up to 210 pounds. I'll believe it when I see it, but man, I would love to see that weight. I think regardless of size, he's the best quarterback in the class, and the Texans don't have to move any draft capital to get him in this scenario. The Cardinals are on the clock, and they're going to go ahead and take Will Anderson. Now, this is a team that just needs the defensive players. They just lost J.J. Watt. At this point, I feel like a broken record gassing up Will Anderson, but here at 3, it's such a great fit at a position of need. The Colts are on the clock with the 4th overall pick. They're going to go ahead and take the easy QB2 in this class. For my money, C.J. Stroud's definitely the 2nd best quarterback in this class. We're probably never going to overthink this one. I'm not sure I'll ever draft Will Levis over C.J. Stroud in these mocks, but I think this is such a good pick here at the 4th overall. The draft crowd's falling in love with Tyree Wilson as of late. Seattle Seahawks is a team that definitely needs like a traditional defensive end or like a power rusher on the edge. But we're going to go ahead and listen to what the scouts have been saying. Now, personally, I don't think Tyree Wilson's a better player than Myles Murphy. But when the scouts are talking, you got to kind of listen to the buzz. I can have my own opinions. You guys can have your own opinions. But at the end of the day, things like Trayvon Walker last year goes 1st overall. So it's really important to form your own opinions, but also listen to what the NFL execs and the high-end NFL scouts are saying. Now, with the 6th overall pick here, I like to alternate between Bryan Bresee and Myles Murphy. We're going to go ahead and give him Myles Murphy here. I really like the idea of shoring up that defensive line a lot. Aiden Hutchinson looks like a star. Justin Houston looks like he can get after the passer as well. But Myles Murphy's going to be able to put his hand in the dirt and get after the quarterback like a traditional defensive end and just be such a good complement on the opposite side of the line as Aiden Hutchinson. The Raiders are on the clock with the 7th overall pick. This is a team that needs quarterback, but evidently they're in the quarterback free agency market. The Tom Brady rumblings are growing, Jimmy G possibly, but we're going to switch it up. We're going to go ahead and give him a rookie quarterback. We're going to take Will Levis here. I know it sounds terrible, but that's like everyone's least favorite top 10 pick in the draft right now. I think the reality of the situation is his traits alone are going to get him picked in the top 10. And these teams, when they're picking this high, they're shooting for upside. I'm not the biggest fan, but the Raiders have to do something at quarterback. I can't assume every single mock draft that they're going to get Tom Brady. The Falcons are on the clock here, and this is a team that could go a few different ways. We're going to go ahead and take Bryan Bresee, as this team desperately needs to be able to get after the quarterback. And this is a guy that can play defensive tackle, play 5-tech. He brings some really rare pass rushing ability at the defensive tackle spot, and he's going to be a rotational guy right away on that defensive line. I don't think he's just a permanent defensive tackle either. I think he has the explosiveness to play on the edge a little bit of D-end, put his hand in the dirt. I think the upside with this guy is crazy, and he warrants a top 10 pick. He's another one of those polarizing players. He could go somewhere in the top 10, or he could be like a back half of the 1st round pick. Now, with the Panthers on the clock with the 9th overall pick, we're going to do something that we haven't done in any of our mocks yet. We're going to go ahead and take the 4th quarterback in the top 10 picks. Anthony Richardson, Carolina Panthers. Dare I say Cam Newton 2.0? I'm probably going to hell for saying that, but I mean, this guy has the raw tools, the rocket arm, the immense upside. If the team likes him, maybe he's worth the swing in the top 10. I just find it very hard to see the Carolina Panthers pass on a guy like this. The Eagles are here with the 10th overall pick. This is a team that I love taking corner very early. James Bradbury's contract finishes up. Now, he was amazing in his starts all year long, a super elite player. He's going to demand a lot of money. I think the Eagles just get younger at this position right away, and they go ahead and take the arguable CB1 in this class. Christian Gonzalez to the Eagles makes a lot of sense. He's someone that can go ahead and start immediately opposite of Darius Slay. And getting younger at a premium position in the NFL is always something that a team should be looking forward to be doing. The Titans are on the clock, and we're going to go ahead and take a tackle. Week in and week out, we just take tackles for this team. We're not sure what the quarterback position looks like for them long term. There's a lot of questions on that offensive line. So whoever they bring in, you want them to be stepping into a good offensive line. We're going to go ahead and take Paris Johnson Jr. This is someone who has played at right guard at a high level, but he also just played outstanding this past year at left tackle. The Texans are on the clock, and this is a team that's losing Brandon Cooks this year. We've been taking wide receiver here at 12, and we're going to continue to do so in this scenario. We're going to pair Quentin Johnston with Bryce Young, and we're going to start building that rapport between the two of them early in their careers. So here at 13, we're going to go ahead and force that Aaron Rodgers trade. Again, it looks like 2 first-round picks, one this year, one next year, and the Jets will receive Aaron Rodgers. They're going all in on this guy. Now, the Packers are on the clock with the Jets' 13th overall pick. Now, they're going to go ahead and take Michael Mayer. This is a team that needs offensive weapons desperately. If Jordan Love's going to be the future, you want to surround him with as much talent as possible. They're going to go ahead and take Mayer right ahead of the Patriots. I'd be naive to say the Patriots aren't possibly looking at Michael Mayer. So they're going to go ahead and take their guy. This feels like a Green Bay pick. This one's a big relief to the Patriots fans. They're going to go ahead and take Broderick Jones. No need to complicate this one. Offensive tackle is such a desperate need for us. You immediately get better at left tackle. If Mac Jones is going to be any bit of the future, you need that offensive line to play up to par. Now with the 15th overall, I wanted to take a tackle for the Packers, but the Packers secondary just wasn't up to par this year. They have guys that I like, but both Adrian Amos and Darnell Savage took massive steps back this year. They need a playmaker in that secondary. Jair is really the only guy that's balling out right now. So we're going to go ahead and get him a special talent in Brian Branch. Pick 16's easy. I'm taking Devin Witherspoon. I see him as a borderline top 10 talent in this draft class. This is a team that needs a lot of different positions, but cornerback is definitely one of them. They're getting an elite player here at 16. The Steelers are here with Peter Skoronski still on the board. This is the farthest I've ever let him drop. There definitely are a little bit of size concerns with this guy. He may have short arms. I don't like to lean into those things too much, but he just happens to fall right to a perfect spot here for the Steelers. With the Lions on the clock right here, I'm going to make the most fun pick in this entire draft. They're going to go ahead and take Bijan Robinson. The reason they do this is because DeAndre Swift isn't healthy. He's been amazing when he's on the field, but I doubt that they extend him after this season. Jamal Williams is the heart and soul of that team, but again, he's getting up there in age as well. Get Bijan on the roster a year before DeAndre Swift gets off the roster. I think he has a breakout pretty much right away. He's a much better prospect than DeAndre Swift was. He's going to be able to make a bigger impact right away, and most importantly, he can withstand a big workload. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock here, and they very well may have the worst left tackle in the NFL. Donovan Smith, rated out as the worst left tackle. He led the league in penalties. He's really the reason Tom Brady wants to get out of town. Obviously, there's a bunch of different factors, but that offensive line was terrible. We're going to go ahead and take Anton Harrison, and whoever that quarterback of the future is, they're going to be thankful they got a good pass blocker on that left side. Now, the Seahawks are on the clock here, and they need a bunch of IOL guys. I'd like to give them Osiris Torrance here. He can go ahead and be a right guard, left guard, but most importantly, they need a better center. Austin Blythe just isn't good at all. So we're going to go ahead and take the best center in the class and take John Michael Schmitz once again. The Chargers are on the clock, and they're going to go ahead and take a wide receiver. We've got kind of cute in the past and just passed on receiver, but they're going to go ahead and take Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's going to be the eventual Keenan Allen replacement. We don't know if this guy can play the boundary yet. I would bet that he can, but in the case if he's just a slot receiver, according to some NFL insiders, there's a 50-50 chance that Keenan Allen's off the roster this year. So we're going to go ahead and get the Keenan Allen clone. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Justin Herbert, both on their way to the Hall of Fame. The Ravens really need a cornerback. Marlon Humphrey's good. Marcus Peters is good. Neither of those guys are playing at the level that they've shown in the past. So we're going to go ahead and get a very special cornerback prospect. Joey Porter Jr. falling all the way to 22 sounds like a miracle for these guys. And we're just going to pounce on the opportunity to get fresher, younger, and better at the cornerback position. We're going to do the same thing here for the Vikings. This team's been looking for a corner for quite some time. We don't know what Andrew Booth is just yet, but you can never have too many good corners on the roster. Cam Smith for the Vikings here at 23. This feels like the range that Cam Smith is going to go in. We're going to go 3 cornerbacks in a row here. Kelee Ringo is going to fall to the Jaguars. Now, I just did a tape review on him. He's not my favorite cornerback in the class, but his traits are going to get him drafted probably day one. This is a team that needs help outside of Tyson Campbell. Kelee Ringo is a good good chance to get better at that CB2 spot. Here we are at pick 25 for Daniel Jones and the Giants. This dude needs him a wide receiver. So we're just going to go ahead and give him Jordan Addison. This is an explosive playmaker, an immediate starter on that weak offense, and just a massive improvement in that wide receiver room. If the Cowboys are going to win with Dak Prescott, they need to be able to improve that wide receiver room outside of CeeDee Lamb. Now you could take Zay Flowers here, or you could take Josh Downs. I'm going to lean towards Josh Downs here. Zay Flowers just measured in at 5'7" and 170 something pounds. Now I do think he's an amazing player, but he's a fourth-year player who's criminally undersized, and I think outside of Tavon Austin, he would be the smallest first-round receiver taken in, like, I don't even know, a very, very long time. So we're going to take Josh Downs. He's going to fit right in, be an explosive playmaker all over the field, and that's a fair price. Pick 26 for a wide receiver too, who has a crazy college resume. I think Dallas will love this pick. I'm going to go ahead and get better at right tackle for Josh Allen. I don't care what the naysayers think about the wide receiver position for that team. They have a chance to get better at wide receiver through free agency, drafting later in the draft. But to get Darnell Wright here, starting caliber right tackle, for a team that has a terrible starting right tackle, you just do it. You got to help out Josh Allen. I know he's the Terminator back there, but that's no excuse to ease up on that offensive line. You just got to get better. The Bengals are on the clock, and we just watched Joe Burrow get mauled once again in the postseason. He needs a better offensive line. Both the left and right tackle is a problem right now. Jonah Williams probably not going to be on the roster for long. He's hurt anyway. Lyle Collins has just been terrible. And I think probably the best tackle right here available would be DeJuan Jones. Now he's going to slot in at right tackle, and I think that's fine. Both tackle spots needs help, but you're just going to get a really good offensive line player. I think he has some pretty solid tape, and he's played against some really good edge defenders. The Broncos are on the clock, and they're going to improve that defensive line. They're going to go ahead and take Lucas Van Ness. Now, it's actually surprising that he's this far down on the draft board. I think he's a really good player. He has immense upside, but he's still a little raw. This team just needs somebody who can step up and be a difference maker on the edge. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock. This is a team that evidently needs more weapons in the passing game. They could go wide receiver here, but I want to give them a very special tight end prospect. Now, I know they have Kelsey. I know they have other guys like Noah Gray, but it's not very often you come across a prospect like Darnell Washington. Now, standing at 6'7", 270 pounds, he's crazy versatile. He can run legit NFL routes, and he's the best blocking tight end in the class. I don't think you look at Kelsey and just say, nah, we're good at tight end forever. Go ahead and get a unicorn prospect. He has the highest upside of any tight end in this class, and this feels like an Andy Reid pick all day to me. With the final pick of the first round, the Eagles are going to go ahead and take Trenton Simpson. Now, this guy is a little bit more of an every down inside linebacker. He can do pretty much everything you ask him to do. I think he's going to be exactly what they wanted Nakobe Dean to be. Now, the Eagles do have linebacker talent on the roster right now, but to land a guy like Trenton Simpson at 31, it's really just going to shore up that second level of the defense, keep it fresh, basically just going to reload that defense and be able to compete year after year. A very quick recap of the draft. The Texans get their quarterback in Bryce Young. DJ Stroud ends up with the Colts. Will Levis goes to the Raiders. I don't predict that to happen. I think they're going to get a free agent, but we're just having fun here. Anthony Richardson's going to go to the Panthers. The Green Bay Packers take Michael Mayer with the pick that they traded Rodgers away for. They also accrue that second first-round pick for next year. The Patriots are going to go ahead and take the best tackle in the class, in my opinion. I know a lot of Patriots fans that are going to love that pick. Devon Witherspoon falls to 16. I don't think I see that happening. I low-key kind of want the Patriots to take him, but we really do need a tackle. Peter Skoronski falls to 17 to the Steelers. Bijan Robinson, the most fun pick in the entire draft here. I think that's a bit of a luxury pick, but I could see it happening. JSN goes to the Chargers. Who knows what Keenan Allen's future looks like? The Ravens couldn't be any happier with their pick. Joey Porter Jr. at 22 is just a complete steal. Jordan Addison, 25 to the Giants. We're going to keep shoring up that offensive line for Josh Allen. Darnell Wright, best right tackle in the class, followed up by DeJuan Jones, second best right tackle in the class in my opinion. Two superstar quarterbacks are going to be happy with their offensive line investment. And then Darnell Washington goes to the Chiefs. I didn't love the wide receiver options there at 30, but I do love Darnell Washington's upside. If they can mold Darnell Washington into being a complete tight end, I think his upside is like crazy. That's all I have for you guys today. Now, we just mocked a very realistic scenario, but I do feel like Rodgers is going to get traded to the Jets. The stars are just lining up too perfect, so this could be what a draft would look like. Hopefully I gave you guys his team, every player that you wanted, and if not, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.